Life's best moments are best captured by photography and video. You may ask, why photography and video? Because if a photo is worth 1,000 words, video is worth 1,000,000. And GPS photography and video will leave you speechless. GPS specializes in weddings, sports, fitness, and so much more. Book your next shoot today at 910-257-0526 or gpsphotoandvideo.com.
Welcome to the Amazon's podcast. Happy 4th of July to everyone. Hope everyone is being safe and celebrating responsibly. I'm Glenn Young, owner of Amazon's Fitness Magazine. Celebrate the female physique. Subscribe to amazonsfitmag.com. The podcast is brought to you by GPS Photography and Video. Why photography and video? Because with photos worth 1,000 words, videos worth 1,000,000. gpsphotoandvideo.com. And Amazon's Fitness Magazine is a publication of GPS Photography and Video. My guest, haven't talked to her in a while, IFBB Women's Bodybuilder Pro, getting ready for her pro debut on the cover of the March 22 issue of Amazon's Fitness Magazine, Marilyn Yee. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
Oh, of course. Just tracking you to see where you are, and now you're ready to make your move. You're doing the Tampa Pro, correct?
That's right.
How excited are you after all of the work that you put in now to ready to make your pro debut here in 2024?
I'm super excited. It's like I work every day in and out for this, and it's a lot of work. And I feel like it's never enough, and doesn't matter which point where you're at. You feel like you could do more. You always want more. So every day and every minute, every second, you're just driving toward that goal.
What's been the most that you learned since getting ready for your pro debut?
I've learned. So I recently changed my diets and training coach. It was a big decision, and with my new diet coach, I learned I can have carbs in my prep, which I've never done that because I've always worked with Shelby Stern since my first competition in 2018 till just a couple months ago, and he was my only diet coach. So I'm learning new things every day.
What made you switch? Was it just time, or do you feel you weren't going in the right direction?
There's nothing wrong with it. I've only known one way of prep, which is Shelby's way, and it's the only way I know. And I thought I should try a different approach. And I know a lot of pro athletes, they do change coach every prep to see what work best for them. I think it's good to have a different perspective.
And who is your prep coach now? Still Chris Cormier?
It's Chris Cycle. Chris Cormier. Also, I did the switch, and there's nothing wrong with his training. I feel like Cormier's training has definitely changed my physique a lot. I give him credit for that, and I just feel like we've been working together for the past, I think, 2 years. He's a very busy person. He's not always available, and I feel like we lost the spark. And I was like, get too used to each other. It's like an old friend, and he's just on someone else. It's like my prep is not his priority, and I don't need that.
Right. I can certainly understand. So what was the improvements from the coach's feedback from when you got your pro card that you've been working on?
Well, I've never really talked about the feedback with my coaches.
Mm.
Like,
What about the judges?
not from judges either.
Okay.
But if you ask me, I think looking back from one day out from Olympia amateur, my back were lacking a lot of details and size. I feel like maybe it's stuck in my mind. I don't know, but I feel like my back is still my weakness, and
Right.
so is my chest. I think chest is being the weakest part.
Mm-hmm.
Back has improved since the off season, so yeah.
Good deal. So you're gonna be flying into the Tampa Pro. I will
That's
venture
right.
to say you won't be using Frontier Airlines.
No way, not even for free.
What we talking?
Oh my god.
It was such a horrible
They lost my
experience.
luggage at a layover, so I had a layover, right? So that's another
Yeah.
side of story I didn't tell you last time. They have a layover and they forgot my luggage in a layover. And I went to the front desk and I told them, where's my luggage? It's like, you're supposed to buy another ticket. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. This is not my first time flying.
Yeah. And so this was on the way home that they lost your luggage?
When I was on the way to Orlando.
Oh,
That was for the national, right? Yeah.
yeah, that's yeah,
Mm.
man. And then you came back, of course, for the Olympia amateur. But I was so
Yeah,
sorry to hear that. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot better this time. I
it
know it
is what
is.
it is.
Yeah. So, what made you choose Tampa?
It was just a timeline to really think about show. I mean, I have friends that tell me, "What you're gonna do?" Because I was going to do New York Pro, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I have people that don't know me for a while, and they say New York Pro is very competitive. Are you sure you're ready for this? And when I choose the show, well, first of all, this is my pro debut. I just think of the timeline. I think about who's gonna show out.
Right.
I just do a show when I'm ready. Like the
Right.
same thing I've been doing when I was amateur all the time.
Yeah. And you only get one pro debut. So,
That's right.
yeah. So now when you look at what's been going on this season, and we're in the heart of it now, uh, and as far as when it comes to the Olympia, it's not who's in at this point, who's on the outside looking in. And things are heating up, this weekend with the Portugal Pro, next weekend, the Atlanta Pro, and then on the 19th of July, it's the
Chicago,
Chicago
right?
Pro.
Yeah.
Yep, Chicago Pro, and then Tampa. So this is really, I like to call the heart of the season because this is where people either qualify or you don't. What have you thought
Hmm.
about the season so far? Given going all the way back to April, you had the Van Isle, the Triple O. What have you seen, and what's been your thoughts
So the one that really impressed me the most was Ashley Jones at New York Pro.
at the New York Pro? Yeah,
She just have this very outstanding physique. It's like she have that wow factor. And she's
yeah.
not the biggest girl.
No,
It's
she's
not
not.
like I'm not saying that because I'm not the biggest and
Yeah,
I look up to someone else that's like similar size to me. No,
yeah.
she does have that wow factor, and it's like unforgettable. It's so amazing to watch.
And she's not that tall. Y'all may be close to the same height.
Now, I think Chris Cormier, he told me
Mm-hmm.
because he met her in person. He said
Right.
she's shorter than me, like 4 feet something. I'm 5'3".
She's shorter than you. Oh
She's
wow.
shorter than me. That's really hard to find someone shorter than
Yeah, it
me.
is. It really is.
But
But
shorty
hey,
is the name of the game, right? You better be
that's
short and
it.
stocky.
Well, I mean, and there's a couple out there. Christy Naylor comes to mind. That's like 6 feet. She's 6'1", and so she got her pro card at the Chicago Pro. And so when you look at your height, is who can put all that muscle into that package? Because size
Right.
and symmetry, if you can't put the muscle on, doesn't matter how tall you are.
That's right.
And the short girls, that compact and all that muscle, is really something to see when they go toe to toe. And that's really what it comes down to: what looks the best, who's got the best conditioning, who has the symmetry, size, and it's amazing to watch, especially for me as a photographer and a fan. But it all comes down to the hands of the judges, what they see.
Right.
What would it mean to qualify your first time out for the Olympia?
That would mean the world to me. I mean, everybody that's in a competition wants one thing.
Yeah.
My mentality is bring my best package on stage, because it's not only for myself, and also I think it's a respect to stage, because it's trying your best. You bring your best package on stage, and the respect to your coach, because you're never doing this alone. I know this is a very individual sport, but you're never doing this alone. And also my sponsor.
Yeah. And can you name your sponsor?
Sorry, I keep him private.
Okay. That's fine. I understand. But it is good to have one or two or however many, because
you just have they
support
have
is
one
incredibly
great
important.
one.
Yeah, that's it. Support is incredibly important. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, you don't take one. You got one good one, one great one. As you said, that's what you need. So now, have you looked into things when you look at all the final details of going into that pro debut? Can you talk about suit color? What's going to be your routine? You have a different music genre this time coming out.
I have a few songs, but the routine is the same. So I want to choose I want my routine to flow with the song, like that matches together, matching the beat. So it's not
right.
Eventually, I don't think I'm just going to choose a song of what I like. I want to choose a song that matches my physique and the rhythm of the song. So I'll definitely choose something slow that's easier to dance into it and hold in each pose. So for color, I have two. Either I'm gonna go green or blue.
Green or blue? Okay. Yeah. And then of course you got to have one for prejudging, and then of course the finals. So
that's right.
So it's really exciting to see it. Yeah, there could have been more shows when you look at it. Yeah, there could have been more opportunities as far as prize money. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. And looking now, you're still going to end up with anywhere from 14 to 15 female bodybuilders on the stage, given the number of shows that are left for women's bodybuilding. So I'm excited to see it. And of course, the Olympia is in Vegas this year. So, and it's 60 years. So, yeah, it's going to be a big time extravaganza. Have you thought about that?
Thought about going to Olympia.
Yeah, as you're going in and going into Vegas,
have to win first.
Orlando. I like Orlando because it's close. Yeah. But it's back in Vegas, so it is what it is.
And there's one more thing. I think this year is the first Olympia that happens on October 11th. That's my birthday.
Oh wow! Well, hey, there you go. This is destiny. This is destiny.
I hope so.
Well, that's great. Yeah, I'm really hoping it all works out for you. Now, if things don't go well in Tampa, what will you do then? Will you do another show?
I will do another show. Yes. It's going to be in Anaheim.
Yeah. I was going to say, because you're out in California. So
I forgot the name of the show.
Yeah.
Titan of Grand Prix. Yes.
In Anaheim, California. So that's close to you. So that's
it's first time. I mean, it's my first time competing in bodybuilding in California, because usually if it's local, it's usually powerlifting. I've never done any bodybuilding contests within Cali.
Right.
It'll be fun.
And this is a brand new show too, so that's exciting as well. Put on by Wings of Strength. So Anaheim, California. I mean, the locations I think are evenly spread out throughout the country. Just would like to see more, especially on the East Coast, other than the New York Pro for women's bodybuilding. I would love for it to be in Charlotte or South Carolina, but it is what it is.
Right.
Well, that's why I'm going to Atlanta, because that's close, And so I'll be there, and hopefully it's going to be, well, I know it's going to be a great show, but you want to meet the competition list, competitors list will be out next week. So as they go into peak weeks, so we'll see who's going to be doing it and go from there.
Best of
But it
luck,
really is,
everyone.
yeah. I mean, at this point, they always like to use the term stacked show. Well, every show is stacked. It's getting towards the end. It's like, hey, you either in or you're not in. And I don't know if it's got anything to do with promotion or just the time of the year. Mostly everybody wants to compete later in the year. Talking about later in the spring throughout the summer, as opposed to one of the first things going up in April, for example. Because, I mean, when you look at it now, with the Triple O coming back again in 2025, is that one you made? That's in Arizona. Was that one that you would consider?
You said there's one woman bodybuilding competitions in Arizona?
Yeah, the Triple O Dynasty that came about this year.
Triple O. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have my plan after this year yet. I probably will go back to off season. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
How I feel.
I got you. And he's playing for the best because, I mean, hey, you're at the Olympia in October, and then just make a decision from there. That's the good part.
Yeah.
That's the good part. So you look great. Been watching some of your clips and everything, and you say you've been in prep now for how long?
I started on March 25 or 27.
Okay. But yeah, you've been looking great. Been watching your clips and following you, of course.
Thank you.
And it's a different time because now you're taking a step from no more amateur. Now you're a full-fledged pro, and it's another great big step. Because now it's just different. Because it's the next level.
It is different level. It's complete different level, and amateur and pro is just two different worlds.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And this is a different world from pro to that first win as a pro, and then of course the Olympia, because that's the elite, And to your credit, not everybody becomes a pro. I mean, everybody said, well, there's too many pro cards given out, but not everybody makes it to that level and continue on. So you to be applauded, and I love the way you won it, doing nationals and coming right back in the Olympia amateurs and knocking it out. So that's great. I love your determination and, of course, your spirit as well. So big fan. So I want to see a lot of great things happen for you. Given what you know now, and you've seen, of course, the stuff with women's physique and the overall season, what would you like to see change if you could change it? Or what would, if someone would ask you the question, what is your feedback to give to women's bodybuilding, IFBB, to say, oh, it would be better if we did A, B, and C?
I think the most common issue that we are seeing these days is a lot of women, not just women. I was gonna say women physique, women bodybuilder, but I think it happens in every divisions. Is some people love certain division, but they don't have the structure for it. So, or some girl. I know one girl. It's Cremia's clients. She's from China. She go by Baby Q. She wants to stay in bigger, but she has a woman physique structure. And a lot of people have this problem. I like this division, but you made it bigger or maybe smaller. I think this is a very common issue.
But when you get that feedback, you got to make the choice to move up, because then you're just going to continually get scored down. And if your body is going one way,
you have to be realistic.
Yeah.
If you ask me, I love woman bodybuilding. Everybody knows that. I walk the walk top to top left. Am I big enough for the division? Probably not. I'm not a big girl, but I love what I do. I think I am doing the same thing too. While we're asking me the question, well, I'm actually doing the same thing. So
right. But you never know, because like I said, everybody was saying Ashley Jones was too small, and she walked into New York, was like, whoa, and some of them are still saying she's too small.
It's
But we're going
details
to
and
see how the size of penis.
conditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And conditioning over size, because if you got the size but you're not in conditioning, that's just a nice word for saying, hey, you're out of shape. Yeah, you're big, but you're big for no reason. You look the part, but you
exactly.
can't play the role. You know,
Without conditioning, then it isn't bodybuilding.
no, it isn't,
Mhm.
because you're a power lifter, basically. You can say that. You
Right,
know,
right,
uh, because
right.
if
Depends on
you're
how
not
soft they are.
exactly, yeah, that's true.
Right.
So I admire what the judges do, and I don't resent or regret the job that they have in front of them, because uh, you go that long, and then go from the first show in April all the way to October, and now here's the best of the best, and you just have to wait to see how it all shakes out, because I'm
Mhm.
excited to see it, and a number of competitors, and it does challenge every year. It does become more competitive every year. Especially now with no points. Everybody wondered how that was gonna work out. I think it's worked out great, because at the end of the day, it brought about more competition. Now, the sad part is there were less shows, because it's like you got cut twice. And then the shows are
Yeah.
replaced. So you lost Savannah, but you got Anaheim, so on and so forth. You lost Puerto Rico, and then you had Spain and Portugal, and you got Romania. So it's even out with the number of overseas shows, West Coast to East Coast, when you look at it. Um, but still, more is always better. But you got to get the women's bodybuilders at the NPC level, at the amateur level, or else you're not going to have any pros. So that's the way I see it.
So, not every amateur show has woman bodybuilding division.
Exactly.
Oh,
And that's
okay.
another one, or like in the case of the Charlotte Pro, right? Women's physique, I think it was one showed up at the Pittsburgh Pro. I think in the amateur part, I think it was two that showed up. So that sends a message as well, because if they don't show up at the amateur level, there's not going to be any pros, um, because that's where the money is made, in my opinion, at the NPC level, to grow those pro shows. So just
Yeah.
have to see how it shakes out. What I'm excited to see is if we continue to wind down. I think we're coming down to 13 weeks before the Olympia, so the competition is going to get really good. To say the word, it's
Right,
going to get really good.
right. So the number of women bodybuilding competitors is less than the rest of divisions. It's understandable
Hmm.
because it's the hardest, it's the most challenging. Oh,
It takes longer to grow.
all right.
You
Am
know,
I back?
I got you now.
All right,
Yep, you're back.
all right. So I was saying the number of competitor in our division, women bodybuilding, is less than the rest of divisions, because it's the most challenging. The rest of divisions where your size and density is not the factor, you can just diet and cardio and lift
Hmm.
pounds of dumbbell. Um, I'm glad Wings of Strength Ball is back. The Wings of
Yes,
Strength.
yes. But now it's got to sustain it. Got to sustain it.
Sustain it,
And
and
yeah.
and and go back to the question you asked me. What do I think it should be changing? I have more
Hmm.
answer to that. It's hopefully more woman bodybuilding show in the future, and also it's really hard to um, find a balance between femininity and masculinity, and that's the arts of bodybuilding. It's hard. Also,
Yeah.
setting the standard to more like like um like more with a clear direction.
Hmm.
Because when you go to Europe, I don't know if you noticed that, like in
Oh
Europe,
yeah.
and the standard, they're like freaky women, like
Yeah.
they
Case
don't
in point,
care.
the Portugal Pro this weekend, and I've seen some of the contestants. I'm like, oh, okay, because it's all about the size. It seems.
Right,
I mean,
right. But
pictures worth
I
a
think
thousand
in the
words.
U.S. in the U.S. woman bodybuilders are more feminine. So this
Yeah.
is something I noticed.
And it was hilarious because I saw a recent post by Female Bodybuilding Channel, and AJ was doing his interview, and he said they have the American look, and I'm like, yeah, okay, well,
What does
I
that
guess
mean? What was he trying to
exactly.
say?
What are you saying? that the girls overseas are more freakishly larger, more muscle.
See?
Uh, it is what it is at the end of the day. Like I said, I don't envy the judges. But when they get to the Olympia stage, then hey, that's when it all comes together, and everybody's on the even keel, and that's why Angela Yo is number 2 in the world because everybody thought she was small, and Andrea Shaw, you could say that she's really not the biggest by comparison to what you've seen in the past. Um, and it's just gonna come down to that. But femininity is a part of it, whether you want to believe it or not. You can go back and check the annals, and you check the judging, and that's why she's 1-4.
Mhm.
Looking down the barrel of 5. Um, Elegant, beautiful, muscularity, femininity, all of that conditioning, and
Yeah.
so I'm excited to see it, and I'm of course excited to see Hella Trevino, Teresa Vancic, and of course Ashley Jones as well, as I sponsored them this year. And so I believe in them, and so we're gonna see a great show at the end of the
They're
day.
all very
Sherry
different
Priami
stage.
looks, yeah, Sherry Priami looks
She looked really
amazing.
good.
Yeah,
I saw
yeah,
her post this
and I'm
morning. I'm
like,
like, shit.
and
She
it's
hasn't
it's
even
strong.
carved up yet.
No, she has done her
Look
last
like concrete
cardio,
stone.
and I believe she feels good about it. I feel good about her winning as well, and then we'll just let it
I
shake
hope
out
she
on the
wins.
stage.
Yeah.
Because all that talking junk, it's almost like, hey, I wish I'd have sent her a USA flag because that's how bad it's been with some of the noise that's been coming out of there. So anyway, yeah, that's gonna all shake out this weekend. But yeah, she looks amazing. Currently number 4 in the world, and I gotta wonder how close it was between a third placing and her placing 4th. But
Mhm.
yeah, she's coming. She's definitely coming. I mean, top to bottom. I mean, that's why we call it the Olympia, right? You're
Right.
gonna have the best of the best, And to quote Linda Murray on Olympia TV, said this lineup is gonna look totally different than what we've seen when we get down to the final uh, show and see who's going to the O. And you just have to close the book on it and go on from there. But you really do want the best of the best. I think 2 more shows is the right number without the loss of any others. Where would you put them?
Mhm.
As far as geographically, I don't know. I was at one of them in the United States, and I was at one of them on the East Coast, and somewhere in the Carolinas. But that's me. But I would love to see it at the Pittsburgh Pro. Women's bodybuilding, um, and women's bodybuilding, women's physique. They go hand in hand because this whole Texas Pro, that would be a great show next year if they were to add women's bodybuilding. But this Texas Pro that's coming up, and you look at the prize money at $15,000. Yeah, and the prize money
You're
is.
saying they're gonna have women bodybuilding division next year in Texas, bro?
I hope so. I hope so.
Hmm.
There's talk of it right now. It's just a rumor mill, conjecture, but it would be great if they could. It'd be great if they could. I mean, of the 6 divisions, bikini, wellness, figure fitness, women's physique, and women's bodybuilding, ultimately, you want all 6 divisions represented at every show, but it's just not possible. And that's not to say that wellness and bikini, quote unquote, are the money makers. I think women's physique, figure, and fitness. And you don't see a lot of fitness at shows
The
either.
thing is, can I say just one thing that might be a little bit
Sure.
offensive? I'm gonna say it anyway. So real talent.
Yeah.
That's me. Get used to it. Wow.
Yeah.
Real talent. Not everybody has real talent. So
No.
the money makers were reason.
Mhm. The money makers are what?
They're called money makers for a reason, because
Yeah,
think
they are.
about how little number of fitness competitors, how little, because
Yeah.
those are real talents. Not everybody has real talents because these people are
Well,
special.
they're gymnasts. I mean, yeah, it's called the fitness division, but they're gymnasts in my world. They're doing the same thing that's about to go down here in the Olympics in a few weeks.
And so is bodybuilder.
Yeah. So, it is what it is. So it really comes down to marketing. But I know there's a fan base out there who I hear from every day as far as women's bodybuilding. It's just how do you market and how do you get them out? Whatever the sanction fee is, whatever the geographical location is, I really hope that there's like a summit at the end of the year where all the women bodybuilders, promoters, and all the powers that be get in a room and talk about it and come up with the schedule. That's congruent to everybody around, prize money, whatever that amount is. And of course, if the promoters feel they're going to make money, because again, at the end of the day, they're in the business of making money. So if you're not going to make money, it's not going to happen. So,
right.
So you done your, it's what is it, about 4:00 out there? 3:30?
5:41.
5:41 out there in California.
Mm-hmm.
So that's different. So you done your last workout for the day?
I finished cardio. I had my first meal. I usually do cardio first thing first upon waking.
Okay. So now, what's been your meal prep this time around? Is it just the same old chicken and rice or something different?
No surprise, because I'm 4 weeks out. Chicken, broccoli, fun.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to let you get back to it. I appreciate you coming on. Always love how candid you are and honest, and you're going to say it like it is.
Too honest.
I love that about you.
Too honest.
Well, honestly, it's called the truth, right? It's called the truth.
Yeah, if you can't handle it, then you're delusional.
Exactly. I'm excited.
You should be honest. Like as a, if you want to be a great athlete, you should be honest to yourself.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to see you on stage at Tampa. Are you going to check out the Atlanta Pro this weekend? Coming up? Not this weekend, or the Portugal Pro, I should say, this weekend.
I can travel.
Yeah.
If I'm going to follow, I'm definitely following up, but cannot physically be there. But wish everybody best of luck.
Yeah. But overseas, Portugal looks a little different, though, I got to say.
It's a tough lineup for women bodybuilding.
Yeah. And it always is, because especially this time of the season. But, Sherry Priami looks ready to go back.
She's so ready.
To the Olympia. Yeah. Amazing. And at this point, you never want to give someone bulletin board material. But they basically have, once again, anytime you give someone, don't poke the bear, I always say. Once you give someone bulletin board material, all right, yeah, okay. So excited to see it. It's going to be a great wrap-up show brought to you by the Female Bodybuilding Channel, as AJ will be there giving the sideline reports and interviews and everything. So can't wait to see the coverage this weekend. And then next week is peak week for the Atlanta Pro. And we just keep on rolling from there. Marilyn, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it.
And I'll see you in Charlotte right after Tampa.
Fayetteville, not Charlotte.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Don't come to Charlotte.
Well, I'm not from here, so I just came here 4 years ago.
Yeah, we're going to make this photo shoot happen, so I'm excited to
That's
to see you right after the Tampa Pro. So, thanks.
I got a token. All right.
Oh, yeah.
I'll see you soon. Have a good one.
All right, bye-bye. Thanks for coming on. Bye.
Of course.
So there you have it. Always very candid, always honest. And once she announced when she was coming back for the her pro debut, she let me know, so I had to get her on. So thankful to see that Marilyn is doing well. I've been following her for a while, 2 years now, and loved her journey, love her, how candid she is, and can't wait to see her on stage at the Tampa Pro. Coming up tomorrow, Becky Short is going to join me. She's going to the Atlanta Pro. So now we started having like an Atlanta pre-show, if you will, as I'll be talking with her tomorrow. 7:30, I believe we're slated to go on. Or no, 8 p.m. tomorrow. And so I can't wait to talk to her as she gets ready for the Atlanta Pro. And I'll be there, of course, This weekend I'll be pulling out Friday and going down there to see the show and see what's what at the Atlanta Pro. Talk to you guys soon. See you tomorrow.